Beware of the scam that's going to intensify, especially in the next couple of years when technology advances. You know, when Elon Musk actually warned us about the development of AI, how most of us romanticize and glorify the development in AI and how it's going to really change our life for the better, but it's like actually a scary thing and we should actually be scared, and I totally agree with that. I've always felt that actually. Tell me why I received a phone call today. Actually, it was the same number that's been calling me for a couple of days and I've been ignoring it because I don't answer phone calls from numbers I don't recognize. And I answered it this evening and it was someone supposedly from this institution that I've been in touch with. When I answered it, they immediately called me by my name, Vicky. So I was like, oh, so it's someone that I know. It's not a random stranger calling me. So that took me off guard. It was a woman, by the way, and this woman quickly introduced herself as blank from this institution, and I talked back. Oh, mind you, the number that was calling from, by the way, did not match the institution's number. So obviously I have the number saved in my phone, but it's a totally different number. So after telling me that their firm can help me with this, basically this woman was asking me if I'm prepared to invest in it or if I have the funds available to fund this. And the way that she was talking, by the way, it felt very robotic. It felt very much like ChatGPT, but very slick too. And in the very beginning of the call, by the way, she made a disclaimer that she's been hearing feedback from customers that the phone responses are a little delayed. So she put that disclaimer in my head. But then everything felt very robotic, like the pauses in between her statements. So the pauses would be for me to respond to her. But the way that I respond to her, she wouldn't, like, it didn't make sense. Like, it wasn't coherent. You know, when you talk with a human, obviously there's a flow there, but it just didn't make sense. But then she also still knew how to respond to my questions or my responses. Like, just like ChatGPT, like when you put in something, they're like, they know how to like give you an answer, but it's like not like talking with a human, you know, like when you talk with a Siri or Alexa, they respond to you, but it doesn't, there's no coherence. You know what I'm talking about, right? So that's what it felt like. And so I started getting a little weirded out and I stopped talking for a while. And then this woman kept talking. And then she would repeat some stuff. And this is when I started to catch on. Okay, this is not a real person. And I started testing it. I was like, can you verify that you're a real person? And after a second pause, they were like, I understand your concerns. Or something like that. I can't even imitate it. But like basically they were recognizing what I said. So they were responding to what I said, but then saying that they are real. But it felt very robotic. And this is where I started to get really like creeped out. The fact that they were responding to my specific sentences, but then it just felt very robotic. So it just didn't make sense to me first. Like, how do you have my number? How do you have my name associated with my number? And how do you know about this institution? So I don't know if my information got breached or if there was some privacy stuff happening, a violation. Like, I don't know what happened. But this, obviously, I'm gonna inform the institution tomorrow when the office is open again. But this is by far one of the creepiest experiences I've ever had because I've never had this type of experience. I mean, scam callers is one thing. Like, they happen all the time, right? Like, we know that. We know how to recognize scam callers, like most of us do. But the AI scam is a whole different level, guys. It's like, imagine being in a desperate position. Like, let's say you call the doctor's office or mayor's office or lawyer's office and you're waiting for a phone call back or a message back. And let's say you get a phone call like this and they're trying to put you on a payment plan or they're trying to get into your financial information. Like, imagine what could happen from this. Like, this is dangerous. So I don't know if anyone else has a similar experience to this, but just be careful, guys. The AI scam is about to be on the rise, and it's actually scary because unless you really listen carefully, it's hard to recognize this. And I feel like elderly people who are not really versed in technology are very vulnerable to this type of scam. So I'm very worried about this.